to be an influencer until y'all realize exactly what y'all gotta go through. Oh my god, I want to quit my 9 to 5. I want to live that life. Let me tell y'all something. Most of them influencers are dead ass lying, and I know because I live that life.
Social media platforms have given a rise to a new breed of celebrities, influencers, who showcase their glamorous lives and their exotic vacations to their gazillions of followers and their brand deals. But have you ever wondered what really goes on behind that glamorous facade? Join me as I dive into the world of influencers to try to uncover what's really going on behind all that glamour. From the outside looking in, I know it looks glamorous and it's so much fun and they get everything for free and they don't have to pay for their weddings and all this other everything that glitters is gold mindset that, this Disney universe has you in. But with millions of eyes on them and all the pressure to maintain these unrealistic beauty standards and keep this purely aesthetic life and be who millions of people want you to be, it's got to take a toll on their mental health. At the end of the day, they're people just like us. They're not immune to the mean comments and the hateful edits. And can you imagine you put something out really thinking that you're being vulnerable and being yourself, and it goes viral, which is, I guess great, but then it's clipped and taken out of context and the narrative is pushed this way and that way, and now millions of people who've never even met you all have formed a misconstrued opinion of you. It's you against everybody. And that would give me anxiety. Plus, they also have the other end of that spectrum where if you don't perform, then maybe you lose followers or maybe you get canceled. The constant fear of being canceled, it's like going to work every day and constantly fearing losing your job. I know some of us can relate. I think as the consumer, we do have a difficult time realizing that these people are not just their personas and they have real life issues and real life problems that they have to deal with. Like, for example, with people were saying about, just off the top of my head, Megan Thee Stallion and her mom. Like, imagine losing your parent, and then the whole internet is telling you that you sacrificed your parents for success.
My mama, she called me and she was like, man, I keep fucking up my words. She was like, I really think something is wrong. Like, I'm talking really slow. I feel funny. I need you to call 911. I don't want to freak out because I want to freak her out. It was a tumor in her brain. We was just like, damn, like, how long this been going on? Like, and what does that mean? It's like she started giving me like a pep talk, like she knew something was about to happen to her. And then she started having back-to-back seizures. It was like she's just not responding. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm in shambles. And they had to like put her under. She was just brain dead. Like, so I stayed up there every day. Like, I was spending the night at the hospital. I just was praying that she could just shake back from it. And once I realized she wasn't coming back, I was just like, damn, I can't keep her like this. Because I know she wouldn't have wanted to stay like this. So I had to make the decision to, I guess, pull the plug. And she just passed like the next day.
It is really tough, and I'm glad that a lot of these celebrities don't, at least they don't show that they let it get to them. But the ones that it really doesn't get to, and the ones that really have good therapists and good communities around them, I am glad that they do, because so often have we had so many celebrities not make it past 27. Plus, if they're just an influencer, they're constantly expected to make content, have the content come out on time, have the content be exactly what people want, and stay on top of trends, and make sure that they're ahead of trends, basically. Fitness creators got to make sure that they look a certain way, or even all of them. A lot of them, some people want to make sure that they have their full face on, or their followers are going to be like, oh, jump scare. So it's just a lot of unnecessary pressure that we, the consumer, are putting on them. I can understand why so many of them advocate for mental health, because a lot of them probably do experience burnout and depression and anxiety just from having to constantly be on go. I'm saying just from my first week of being on YouTube, I felt like I was going to pull all of my hair out. So I can only imagine you have millions of followers and you know that you have to stay on top of this, or they're all gonna leave you. Not all gonna leave you, but they're gonna leave you. In addition to internal pressures, they also have to deal with the social media platforms constantly changing, like fighting against the algorithm. I am just trying to get my toe in the algorithm. I mean, geez, can I just get a little big toe in there? Just a little. That's all I want. Just hey, but my time will come, and that's what I keep telling myself. And one wrong move, like I said, they can lose all their followers. It's so easy to get canceled these days. And also, I'm here for it. Like, let's hold people accountable. Some stuff is just. I do agree, cancel culture is doing too much, but this video is not about cancel. And they're really forced to stay on top of trends, because if they don't, then it's, oh, you're boring. Oh, you're not doing what everybody else is doing. And it's just like, dang, what happened to individuality and just, building our content off of being us, and our audience off of being us. And you came here for me, But okay, it's cool too. For me personally, I have noticed that if I don't plan it out properly, it does become a constant cycle of record, post, edit, promote, record, post, edit, record, edit, record, edit, record, edit, record, edit, record, edit, record, edit. It doesn't really leave a lot of room for self-reflection and personal growth. And that's also kind of why I'm building my channel off of personal growth. So that way, the sun is getting bright. That way I can have a little bit of both. So next we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at the behind the scenes of what it takes to really be an influencer, and what really goes into maintaining that perfect image that we tend to see online. From the impacts of social media algorithms and the pressure to maintain a certain image, and the effects on personal relationships. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the influencer life.
Get ready with me while I talk to you about the reality of being an influencer. I've been doing social media now for almost 7 years, and I feel like with this day and age, TikTok almost glamorizes being a content creator. While yes, it is an amazing job, but it definitely isn't for everybody. So I thought I'd give you guys a little reality check on what it's actually like to do social media full time. One of the hardest things about this job is you have to have discipline. There is no one telling you need to get up at this time, you need to film this today, you need to do that today. You have to manage yourself. You are learning it all on your own. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it can be quite a lonely job. Like, you would think being on social media is quite like a social job, but a lot of times you're just working by yourself at home. I know online influencers get a lot of slack because it literally looks like we are just taking photos and looking pretty, but there's actually so much that goes on behind the scenes. We had to wear multiple hats for one job. We have to learn how to be our photographer, videographer, editor, manager. We also have to know about contracts, be our own lawyers. And on top of trying to learn all those roles on the job, you also have to take into consideration your mental health, because that is probably one of the biggest downsides of this job. There are times where you just can't help but compare when you look at other fellow content creators and you wonder how come you're not getting the same opportunities or the same campaigns and the same jobs and the same press trip. And that's why they say comparison is the thief of joy. I want you to think back to a situation where a friend has filmed you, and then when you watch back the footage, you're like, oh, why do I look like that? That was basically me for the first 3 years of my job. Whenever I looked at myself on camera, I used to think, why do I sound like that? Why do I sound like a man? Why do I speak like that? Why does my lip move so funny? Why does my hip dip like that? It is definitely not a natural thing to watch yourself day in and day out, and you just can't help but pick yourself apart sometimes, and that could also lead to insecurities when it comes to your looks. And if I'm being completely honest, it's probably one of the reasons why I chose to have cosmetic surgery, fillers and Botox. I reckon if I was in a normal job, I wouldn't be so harsh and critical of my looks and my appearance. And then there's another part where you just feel the social pressure and you don't know how honest you should be, because I am quite an open and honest person. I've done YouTube videos about all my surgeries and my fillers, but with that also comes a backlash and it looks like I'm promoting it. Whereas there's a lot of other influencers that will do all this behind the scenes, but they just don't choose to speak about it. So it's kind of like a catch-22. Like, would you rather people speak about it and be honest, or would you rather choose to believe that they are natural and they've had nothing done, and then you probably feel a little bit worse about yourself because you don't look like that either? You know? Girl, don't even get me started on the hater comments. You know that saying where you can be the ripest, juiciest peach, but there's always going to be someone out there that just doesn't like peaches? That is such a true saying. You are going to have so many opinions, so many comments about the way you look, about the way you should have done this, you should have done that. So many different opinions, and you just have to grow a tough skin. One of the things that I find the most scary about my job is that every year you start off with zero. You don't know how much you're going to get paid for the year, and you just have to rely on brand deals unless you have like another side hustle or something. Coming from someone who grew up poor, one of my worst fears is to lose everything, to get cancelled and everything be stripped and taken away with maybe a mistake that you might have done online. If you like stability, this job is not for you, because it is so up and down. A lot of times there are jobs that I'm still waiting to be paid from that I done last year. Another thing that I have to take into consideration with this job is that some people try to come into your life for the wrong intentions. Girl, I've had to distance myself from so many people who I thought were my friends.
So I'd have to say, starting my journey, one of the most surprising things for me was realizing that it is really a 24/7 job. Like, every time I get up, I'm either recording or editing or really just sitting around doing nothing, because that is where I like to find my balance. Like, I have made it a thing of following my journey, so that way it doesn't feel like I'm forcing myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Like, I'm off today, so of course I would just be sitting up watching TV right now, so why not record it, you know? I got up and I did Pilates, and I didn't do Pilates this morning. I got up and I did yoga and I recorded that. There we go. But from carefully curating their feeds and knowing what their audience likes, it is truly a 24/7 job. But what really happens when the cameras stop rolling and the filters come off? What do influencers really think of the industry they're a part of and the toll it takes on their mental health? In a recent interview, a popular influencer, Emma Chamberlain, opened up about her fight with body dysmorphia.
A lot of us are living for the internet. There have been moments when I've done things just for the sake of Instagram. Like, I've worn a certain outfit and gone to a certain park to get a photo. It is not fun to live a fake life for the internet. And I think the key to turning that off is to make it a rule in your mind that you will live for you first, live for the phone, and live for the camera second. That makes life so much more.
Pressures of maintaining a perfect image. She spoke about the feeling of loneliness and the constant need for validation, and how that can really take a toll on your mental health. It really made me realize that a lot of the influencers that even I've been watching, even with the carefree personas that they're putting on TV or even on, social media platforms, that's not necessarily how they feel. Sometimes it's just showing up. And that's really what I've also been thinking of when I sit down and I make my reels and I sit down and press record, or I prop my phone up to press record. One person told me under one of my videos that I inspired them. So I'm going to show up for that one person. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm here for that one person. And I can reach another person, great. That is the goal. But I'm showing up for that one person every day. Everything that I do is for that one person. So what can we do differently as the consumer? I'm so glad you asked. And we got to stop making social media so toxic. Like, we can be nice to each other. It's, it takes just as much time to be nice as it does to type out that little mean comment that you was going to type out. And that mean comment doesn't do anything for anybody. Now what? You just wasted your time. Feel good about yourself? And you still don't feel good about yourself. So might as well go be nice. We gotta understand that these influencers are human too. They deal with real stuff. They deal with real feelings and real insecurities and bills and problems just like us. By humanizing influencers, we can really start to break down that barrier and get rid of these unrealistic expectations that we have of these very normal human beings. Influencers are not superhuman. They are not immune to the pressures of social media. They are real people with real struggles. And it's about time we start treating them that way. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, please consider giving me a subscribe. And if you're not, thanks for returning. Thanks for tuning in today. I really, really do appreciate that. Every view, every like, every comment really does just warm my heart. I just started this off, so all I'm trying to do is reach people. That's it. And so I've reached you. Go ahead and give me a nice little comment below. Bye.
Can I talk? It's been fun. Hey. Can I talk?